8:50 and everybody gets 10 minutes to speak to each other. I said, Larry, something's got to change, buddy. He said, I know, that was horrible. Huh?
Or
it'll be me.
Or they just need the...
I see one of the boys looks like he's about on the roof. Can you see? Yeah, he's pretty close to getting roof level.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, a little cloudy Wednesday here at 5 o'clock, and it's time for the Three Guys Who Love Sports show that supports guys that are going through mental and physical issues, and we can help take their mind off what they're going through for an hour a week, and you help for an hour, and they help for an hour. All God's children help for an hour, the world will be a better place. Very special day for me today, February 18th. Would have been my dad's 104th birthday today.
104th birthday, so 1922?
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad born in 22, so happy birthday up there, Dad. Other great thing happened this weekend before we get into introductions. My cousin won for the 4th out of 5 years at Daytona this weekend.
Which, you sent that thing, and I was like, I don't know, but any race at Daytona, nobody has ever won 4 in a 5-year stretch.
Cale Yarborough, I don't think they've ever won 4 in a 5-year stretch.
Right.
But Petty won 7. Cale Yarborough won 4, but they weren't all back-to-back like
right.
that. So pretty prolific for a driver.
Mind-boggling, and I don't know, as I like to say, shit from Shat, but I would say he's going to get a sponsor one of these days.
I would think. Well, and I think I talked about it before. He wants to be in the Cup, but the right has not become available to him.
Correct.
But it will.
And I just right on that same level, I noticed I watched the very end of the race itself.
Of the Daytona 500?
Of Daytona, and 77 and 71 were right there in the top. It was like, here's a couple guys who probably were looking for sponsors. It's like, who do you get? I got car 77. So hopefully good things like that can happen.
Kosovar 77, yeah. Kosovar. So my name is Chuck Burgess, along with my co-host, Mr. Robert Kinney, who's sharing some NASCAR stuff with me. We've been here now for 193 weeks of shows. That's hard to believe. We're on 193rd Three Guys show, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Most of them here at Miller's Ale House, where we love. I went back to an old favorite today. Got Mimi's Fiesta Bowl, which I haven't had in a long time. I've been stuck on wings and rings, but I just felt like I needed a change.
I think you're all about the way it sounds coming out of your mouth,
Yeah.
I'll take wings and rings,
I think I'm over cholesterol lately, so I'm trying to cut back a little bit.
That's good. That's
get
good.
something green. What'd you get, Larry?
I went with burger and rings.
Cheeseburger, right? Yeah.
Cheeseburger. No Coke, Pepsi. Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
I remember that, but I don't remember what from.
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Saturday Night Five. That's right.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No Coke, Pepsi.
Yeah. And how about you, Robert?
That was like season 2.
Yeah, way back. I went with a Philly.
Philly cheese. You can't.
All the onions, Philly cheese.
You can't go wrong with Philly cheese. I've had that here several times. Very good stuff. Let's bring back in our good friend and frequent guest, Mr. Ian King. Listen, that was a longer applause than we and Robert got. We didn't
Well,
get nearly
people
that
like
much.
Ian more than they like us.
Yeah. Finally, the king has come back
Exactly. Ian,
to Three Guys Who Love Sports.
he's been coming up to me several times. Well, boys want to know when I'm going to be back on the show. I say, well, how about tomorrow? That would work. So
That works.
That works. Happy to have you back. He's out here more than he's on the show, probably. He comes by with him and his wife and the boys. Good bit. So something very special going on. We probably need to do a little trio here and introduce the segment. Everybody ready?
1, 2, 3.
Bum,
Ding,
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 bum, bum,
ding,
bum,
ding,
bum. I think that came out pretty good for
For what?
no rehearsal.
Bombs, dings, and
Dues.
And dues.
Bomb stinging news. Yeah, we're full up. So the Olympics. I guess we've got another week left. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
About 6-7 days.
Jays. It ends Sunday.
It ends Sunday. Final ceremonies are Sunday.
But what's always funny is they always start before the opening ceremonies and they always finish after the closing ceremony.
Yeah.
So it's a little longer than they kind of.
Yeah, it's funny. So what are some of your favorite things that have been going on in the Olympics?
I love the downhill. I love the Super G. There's something about when you get an opportunity. I don't know if either one of you have ever had the opportunity to just stand on the side of a Super G like slope. They're not going down a hill that looks like they're going down a hill that is just, you're like, what the heck are they, so it's mind boggling to watch them.
With a few turns.
Just a couple turns, and that's the whole thing. No matter whether it's bobsledding or luge or skis, it's all about having equipment on the ground. The more you skip, the more you're airborne, the slower you go.
You got to slide, baby.
Got to slide.
The electric slide. That would be great.
No, I do not need to see that at the Olympics.
No, definitely not. Now, Michaela Schifrin, she's the one that lost last time, right? You went back to the same course where she won.
She's got 2 golds at this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But they all are. It's kind of like one of those things where they go, how fast is the 15th best person? 0.23 seconds slower
than
so basically, the best ones are all wedged into that one little spot.
Yeah. But I think she was on this course, lost there 4 years ago or something. It wasn't in the Olympics. Obviously, it wasn't at the same course, but at some race. But kind of retaliated and got her medals back that she didn't think she would get before. I think she's the skier that did that.
I think she's defending.
She started her career in 2014 with a gold.
Yeah.
And she's now ended her career with 2014 with the same goal.
2026.
2026.
Whatever year Larry says it is what it is.
Larry still thinks it's 2014, so that's okay.
It's 2014.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. So other highlights for me, the hockey team, men's hockey team is 6-0. They have outscored their opponents 31-1. That's quite the domination of hockey.
And in hockey, you got to have that great goalie and everything else. But it's crazy when you go back 25, 30 years. We're the 5th best hockey team. They always give it up for the Swedes and the Russians and Canadians ahead of us.
Yep.
Not so much anymore.
Not so much.
Finally catching up.
Yep, we are. So I think the women's team's doing pretty well too in hockey.
Oh yeah, they're dominating.
I think they're in the semis of the finals now. Mm-hmm. What else? Atlanta Myers Taylor is probably to me my favorite story. She's the one that won the bobsled, the monobob, and she's 41 years old. And I think my favorite moment is her up on the podium, and her little boy's watching her. And she's singing the national anthem with the gold hanging around her neck. I get emotional anytime they play the national anthem and Americans wearing a gold around their neck.
No, I don't have to understand your sport. If you're playing a flag or you're wearing my flag, man, I am all in. I will talk some smack to some Latvians or anything else that comes at it.
Yeah, and that monobob competition was excellent too. I mean, the newly American monobobsledder who's 40 years old, she racked in a great time, and then all of a sudden, Atlanta Myers Taylor comes down the rink or comes down the sled and just does even better.
Yeah,
And
at 41 years old, the oldest person, non-team wise, oldest individual to ever win a gold medal.
Really?
Is what I heard. Yeah.
Because the Winter Olympics does lend itself to being older. There's always been biathletes and different things where there was the one. It's the snowboard race where they're all 4 on the ground racing as the one American, the second best American. He's like 39. He's like, yeah, this is great, man.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Spicoli.
Yeah. It was pretty close.
Yeah. So that's cool. I did see that she was the oldest individual to ever win a gold. So I mean, that to me that gives inspiration to other people that aren't spring chickens anymore that want to live their dream. So I think that's really cool. Especially a little boy kept wanting to go up on the podium and his dad was kind of holding him back.
Yeah, and I tell you what, speaking of spring chickens, is it makes me feel so old. It makes my joints just ache terribly when I'm watching them on the slalom and just like going down the Super G, just like continually making all that impact and bouncing up and down.
Those
on the knees.
moguls where they're moving their, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I wonder how many ACLs and MCLs and meniscuses I would have torn by now if I were doing
So
that.
many.
Did you ski? Were you a skier?
So I learned how to ski when I was very young, and then once we started playing basketball more competitively, then I stopped skiing. So there was a time period of my life where it was about 16 years where I did not ski whatsoever. Went to go ski again when I was about 24 while I was in college, and completely forgot all the muscle memory that I thought was there. Although I did have jump skis that I was using from a roommate because I didn't have my own skis at that point, and those jump skis, it's incredible because you do not have control on them because they're all rounded edges. And so, like, your typical stopping points, like, you have to be very talented at skiing in order just to stop on those jump skis.
I have skied 2 times, once in Loon Mountain, New Hampshire. It was like skiing on ice.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Well,
and then I've been to Vail, Colorado when it was all powder. And what a difference that makes.
well, and I don't know if you guys saw it. We were just, did you see about the avalanche?
No.
There was an avalanche just north of Tahoe, and they think it's one of the worst ones in a long time in the U.S.
Today?
Yesterday.
Wow, I
and
hadn't heard that,
there was a guided tour that was like 8 people long. We found 7 of those bodies. We're not sure where that other one is, but
There's no telling,
when
right?
you think about what's going into the training for these people and everything, it's a lot of stuff.
That's a tough sport.
It is, all of it.
It wears down on your legs, like Ian said. I played basketball for 40 years, and worst I did was a sprained ankle. Thank God, knock on wood. But man, skiing will wear you out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But those ones where they're doing the moguls, to where they're
Bouncing constantly, yeah.
It's like I just see like springs shooting out. There goes Robert. Ding, ding, ding. By the time I make it down, I don't have any parts left.
Yeah, and of course, Jordan Stoll has won 2 gold. Stoles has won 2 gold medals in the 500 and 1,000 meters in speed skating. I saw a picture with him with Eric Heiden, and I thought about Joel and said, "Oh, that's cool. That's Joel would appreciate that." So I don't know if Joel saw that or not. I think he's off on another worldwide trip now, so I'm not sure where he is.
I saw a little bit of thing on that on Stoles, and it was kind of interesting from the Apollo and Eric Heiden and all those types of guys. They're all like, "Wow, we're just honored to be mentioned in the same name as Jordan."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you guys all have like 19 gold medals. He doesn't have any right now. Maybe but I guess he's just that much better, and they
Yeah,
know it.
he's like the next Eric Nick Heiden is kind of what they said
Right.
before the Olympics, and obviously he got a couple of gold.
Well, and in Eric Heiden's thing too, you got to always remember before there was 1980 and he dominated with no Russians. There was 1976 and Austria. Innsbruck was not very kind to Eric Heiden. He wham, wipe it out. Catastrophic wipeouts where he's hitting hay bales, looking like he's a NASCAR driver.
And I saw a great picture of Dorothy Hamill today, still wearing the same haircut, still adorable as can be. Just the hair's a lot lighter than it was when she was doing the Hamill Camel.
Yes. The Hamill Camel.
Hamill Camel, yep. There was somebody else I wanted to mention, and I just blanked. Ian, what do you got? Surely you got more notes than what we're talking about.
So Breezy Johnson grabbing that.
Breezy Johnson. That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Grabbing the
What a
downhill
great
gold.
name.
Yeah, that is a great name. That was an impressive run she had. I tell you, I have been extremely impressed with how well the Italians have done. Hosting this Olympic Games, this is their best Olympics ever, or their best Winter Olympics ever. They are second in the medal count right now at 26.
Mm-hmm.
They're only trailing Norway, who has 33 currently with 15 golds. And then the United States is coming in at third with 24 total medals and 7 golds. So Italy's just been tearing it up, and that's been very impressive.
Home course advantage.
Yeah, home course advantage indeed.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So it's fun to think about that the next Olympics will be here in Los Angeles.
2 years away.
Yeah, and they got to do some cleaning up in Los Angeles if it's going to be representative of what America really is.
I don't know, Chuck. If they don't clean it up, maybe that's the representation of what America really is.
That could be. That could be. That could be. But your next show will need to come up with what new events could be in Los Angeles.
Oh, we could have lots down there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Hobo
Yep.
hop.
You what?
I said the hobo hop.
Hobo hop. Yeah.
Not politically correct.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, real quick, I want one of you to explain to me how curling works, because we were playing poker Friday night, and that's all that was on TV. And
I love it.
What are they doing? And I know it's great, but what are they doing?
So
I know they're trying to get the puck. I guess it's called a puck in the middle.
it's a stone.
Stone, curling stone. That's right.
Each stone costs $800.
Thank you.
Wow.
So you think about where somebody like gives you a baton or a shoe. Nobody's ever going to hand you a curling stone. One, you're probably not strong enough to walk away with it. Two, it costs $800. So, but you get points based on how many you have closest to the middle. Only one person can score points. Only one team can score points each time.
So it's like shuffleboard, but with a
That's
800-pound curling.
Absolutely, and if you were a yogini or a yogi master, you would love that opening thing. When you see them with that leg way out and they're doing that little slide. And
The one that gets me is when they're sweeping in front of it. Are they trying to get it to stop or trying to get it to go in a different
They're
direction?
trying to get
all of the
to-
above. It
yeah.
depends on which way they're sweeping.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that they do on that ice is they spray it down. I don't know if you've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only sport that has a rough texture, and that's what they're doing. They're messing with the rough texture.
All I want to see to help improve the sport of curling is that if they're in the Olympic Games, $800 for one of those stones. Why can't we put the flags of the country on top of the stone? So, like, as you're watching on TV, we can just see what.
I don't have
You
to
have to
nail
look
it.
up to see who's got red uniforms on and red that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Put
always
the
have
flag
to-
on top of the
like-
stone. I like that.
This is cutting edge stuff over here. This is why Ian, takes that chair on a regular basis. I like that idea.
I hope the IOC is watching today, because that could be a good.
Well, they usually do.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do.
my kids' baseball bats cost almost $800. So, I mean, and those are painted all in terrible colors. So, why can't we just paint the flags on top of the stones?
What is it? Just put a little flag. Put it on top.
I think we'll be talking about a lot of money today, but we'll see.
Get rid of the reds and yellows, and let's just get the flags on there.
There you go. All right, let's get these commercials out of the way, and we'll move on to our next segment. I think I'm first, aren't I?
You are?
Yep. There are a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol, Kennesaw Express Lube, or Lost Mountain Express Lube. We'll always do our very best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer
Castrol products.
We missed Ian on that.
Well, it's okay. He's holding down the fort on everything else. Joshua Smith and his wife Tammy are both graduates of Kennesaw State College. He's been practicing law for 24 years, specializing in sports and entertainment law while continuing in criminal defense, civil litigation, juvenile, and personal injury. And he's ready to represent you all the way from your small town to the Supreme Court and any appellate court in between. With all the new rules regarding NIL and cash payments to athletes, they're placing a new emphasis on Kennesaw State University student athletics to help our student athletes better navigate some of the bigger issues that have tripped up so many. Give them a call tomorrow at 706-217-2095.
What number was that?
The big one, Chuck. 706-217-2095.
And we thank you, Brian Bristow and Joshua Smith, for being sponsors of the Three Guys Who Love Sports. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tonight, we have a KSU football player coming on. We do a show all about KSU sports. Jakari Bryson will be joining us at 7 o'clock, and look forward to having him on. He's a recent transfer from Gardner-Webb, I believe, if that's correct. So happy to have Jakari on. Now we're back with Ian and Robert, myself, and we are going to talk about our greatest athletes ever in American sports.
Is
Ever.
Jakari going to be wearing number 67?
I doubt it. He's a defensive back, so I don't think he's a
Oh,
67 guy.
No, he isn't definitely not.
Hey,
a
nowadays,
67 guy.
they changed all that stuff, though.
Yeah.
You know,
You never know. So this may be a short segment. I went through this. There's not a whole lot of great 67s. I knew some of the names, but obviously I knew Reggie McKenzie. He was defensive with Buffalo Bills, right, Robert?
McKenzie was with a few people, I believe. I want to say he was a Titan for a while. Actually, that's his current job, vice president for the Titans.
Yep.
But yes, great career. Not number one though.
No. Dave Herman. He was a Raider, if I remember right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, Dave Herman.
And also a Jet because he played in Super Bowl III.
Reggie McKenzie was a Raider the whole time.
Was he really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh wait, no, that's when he was a general manager. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's got too many stats.
Yeah, Reggie McKenzie played offensive line during
I thought
O.J.
it was for
Simpson's.
Buffalo, right? Yeah, when
played for the
Buffalo,
Bills.
when OJ was there, yeah.
And the other notable names that are number 67 were Bob Kuechenberg, who played for the Dolphins during the Shula dynasty back in the early 70s.
The undefeated 72 Dolphins.
Undefeated boys.
And Dan Copen, who played center for the Patriots during the Patriots dynasty. That's about all you have for 67. I thought there would be some hockey players that were notable that wore number 67, but no.
But not.
No.
Get the puck out of here.
Yeah, get the puck out of here indeed, because one of the most notable hockey players that's number 67 is a first-year player with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. That's
Your boy was 66, right?
yeah, Lemieux was
Lemieux.
66.
Yeah.
But 67, the two numbers that kids are going wild about these days, you have very few athletes.
Oh, I didn't even think about
Oh,
that. 6'7".
that
never
was
crossed
that was
my
part of
mind.
my whole thing here in a
Oh,
second.
was it?
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't see it.
6'7".
The boys know what 6'7" is?
Oh, of course. they
Nobody knows what it is. That's the problem with
That's
it.
Will
6'7".
knows. Look at Will. He's giving it the 6'7" shuffle.
Yeah, for 6'7", I don't think you can go wrong with a guy nicknamed Cooch. You know, I like Cooch, and I don't pick Dolphins for many things, but I will take Kuechenberg today.
I will take Bob Kuechenberg as well. That's why I was saving him for last. But perfection. How can you do better than perfection?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kuechenberg as well. That 72 Dolphins team was just incredible. So,
Yeah, it's still a celebration for them. The last time whenever a team that's undefeated loses their game.
Yep, they break out the champagne. You know, it's kind of funny though, and I know we gauge everything. Did you win a championship, Dan Marino? If you did, then we put you here, and if you didn't, we put you here. But at the end of the day, when we start talking about, oh, that's one of the greatest teams ever, really? Zonka is the leader of your, Mercury Morrison Zonka with Bob Greasy.
And Jim Kick?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take
And
everything
Bonacotti.
away from him, but I saw something the other day, and it was talking about the 20 best college football teams ever, which clearly is about as
You know who Larry Seipel is, right?
I know the name.
He was the punter on that.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a friend here in Kennesaw whose father's best friend is Larry Seipel. She got us a Larry Seipel picture autograph for karaoke. So.
I saw something the other day that said Indiana was the second best college football team ever. I'm like, well, do we have to say ever? I know they went 16-0. That's impressive. I want to give you props, but all of a sudden you're better than the 95 Cornhuskers that nobody, I just
That nobody could touch.
nobody could come near. Tommy Frazier.
Yeah.
although I would digress and say, what about that 95 Penn State team, though?
Oh, geez.
That's always been a sticking point for me, that 95 team, talking about.
Is that
teams
Kajana
got
Carter?
Kajana Carter, Kyle Brady, and O.J. McDuffie.
O.J. McDuffie.
Remember that name?
And,
Penn State used to be known as a Penn linebacker U, right?
Yep.
Back when they all went to Pittsburgh afterwards.
Lambert and
Lambert, Ham played at Kent, but yeah, all all the no. Ham was a Penn Stater.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cannot remember which
Kent State, I think.
Yeah, is Lambert. Is
Yeah.
Kent State. Yeah.
Jack.
Jack. You don't know Jack.
He was the one that had no teeth in the front, right? Wasn't that Lambert?
Yep.
I think that was most of them.
Most of them, but some of them more like
I know, but
Mouth guards or
you
whatever.
see pictures of Terry Bradshaw as a rookie. And that dude only had 3 teeth as a rookie. You know.
well, he is from Louisiana.
It's far enough. Yes, he is.
Yep.
All right, so like I said, I had a feeling that would be a very short segment. I guess we got a lot of linemen coming up and
6'7". What are you
in
gonna
the
do?
60s and 70s
And hockey players.
and hockey players.
6'7".
Till we get to the upper 80s, low 80s, then we'll get into some wide receivers and stuff like
Oh, yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, and I'll say this right now. I remember getting excited about 7 and 14, thinking of all of the quarterbacks that were going to be there. And then when 7 and 14 showed up, there wasn't that many. But there should be some 84. You should have a list of wide receivers that are like, these are the greatest ever. Irving Fryer.
Shannon Sharp was 84 too.
There you
wasn't
go.
he?
There you
One
go.
of the Sharps brothers was 84.
I think they both might have been.
Moss.
Were they?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a kick. I know we got a little bit off subject, but I got a kick out of watching. And I still do, even though I think they really screwed up the Hall of Fame this year, of the handshake when they tell people that they made it to the Hall. I think that's pretty cool the way they handle that.
When they tell you one-on-one somehow.
Yeah, show up at your house and tell you you're the 345th person to become a member of the Hall of Fame, and that's pretty cool. It elicits a lot of tears.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, mind-boggling. I'd be crying just telling the story. Not to mention what I was like when I turned the corner at Publix and you guys were like standing in the middle. Please tell me.
So when you get inducted into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, I'll be there for you.
Well, you better be because you're giving me away.
That's awesome. All right, so let's get a Brain Train commercial out, and we will move on with me, Robert and Ian.
Hey, it's Melissa again with Brain Train Centers. Did you know March is Brain Injury Awareness Month? At Brain Train Centers, we are dedicated to helping anyone who has suffered from a concussion or brain injury. You may not even realize you have been affected by a brain injury because maybe you didn't hit your head. You can injure your brain from a jolt, a fall, or even whiplash. Some symptoms you may experience are memory decline, focus issues, or even bad moods. We could help you heal your brain. All you have to do is come in for a brain assessment at one of our locations and you could see how your brain is functioning. This is your first step to taking back control of your brain's health. Just give us a call or text us at 470-291-2778, or for more information, visit braintraincentersinc.com.
You not Jessica, I got Jessica. What's her name? Melissa Hergert for being sponsors of the Three Guys Who Love Sports.
She might be a sponsor someday. You can thank
Jessica
her too.
King, yeah. You can throw a little plug in for her law firm.
Best one in Cartersville.
There you go. A lot of good things going on. College basketball. Now that football is over, we are heading down to March Madness. I think this isn't the last week because conference tournaments are the first weekend. in
5 or
March,
6
right?
games left for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we are with
There's
the
2
season.
really good games on tonight. I know one of them is Arizona and Michigan. Duke and
That's
Michigan.
not tonight. That's this weekend. It's Saturday. Saturday
That's
has
right. Saturday
3 amazing games
Duke
on
and
Saturday.
Michigan at night in Washington, D.C.
And then there's another game on Saturday that's
Is
massive.
it Arizona and Houston?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game is going to have a lot of. You're going to get to see a lot of what's down the road and what's to come. Should both those teams make it out of their brackets, in the tournament. Arizona and Houston are 2 of my favorites for this coming tournament. Arizona has been one of the most complete teams. There's 7-man rotation that they have. Everybody on that rotation, starting 5, is all averaging 10 points. And that's
For Houston?
for Arizona.
For Arizona.
And their 6th and 7th man are nearly a double digits. The 6th man is about 9.8 points a game, and then the 7th man is at 8.4 points a game or 8.6 points a game. They're absolutely on a tear. Michigan's playing out of their mind right now, and then the other team that I think is worth noting is Duke, because I mean Duke this year is just incredible. They are just doing the job.
And think about this. Cooper Flagg re-registered. He should be a freshman this year. So he skipped his senior year in high school
to play.
to go last year. Could you imagine if Cooper Flagg was on this freaking team?
With the Boozer Boys? Yeah,
Holy
that would
crap.
be amazing.
Holy crap. But it is an amazing thing for this Saturday. I don't personally ever remember a 1 versus 3 and a 2 versus 4 this late in the season.
Oh, no,
you know that
yeah.
the top 4 are playing each other. So, you get to learn a little bit.
Yeah, and I watched a good bit of the Duke-Clemson game this weekend. And
I watched a little bit.
I sat there, I'm not that impressed with these Boozer Boys in the first half. They just didn't play
And
well.
then he went off
But
in the
they
second
went off
half.
in the second half, man. And, and then they played somebody else last night, Virginia, or somebody blew them out by a bunch. Virginia Tech, maybe.
Yeah.
Beat them by like 30 or something like that.
Yeah, because Tech plays Virginia tonight, so it definitely wasn't
Georgia
Virginia.
Tech does, yeah. The other game I watched this weekend was Arizona and Texas Tech. And that was a barn burner, man. And Texas Tech beat them. So Arizona's lost 2 of their last 3 or 4
But
games.
Texas Tech's All-American is out for the year as
Toppin?
of today. Yeah.
What
he's,
happened to
He's
him?
gone. He blew out his ACL.
In practice?
No, in the last game.
Oh, wow.
So-
I hadn't heard that.
So he's out. So you talk about when one of the best 5 players in the country is out. We might have to reevaluate your squad.
Was it Texas Tech that played Iowa State this weekend? Iowa State beat somebody.
Kansas played Iowa State,
They
and
beat-
then it was Houston versus Iowa
Houston,
State.
that's who it was.
Yep.
Iowa State. Did you see how many turnovers they had in that game?
Like 0 or 3. 3. That's right.
Can you imagine playing 40 minutes of basketball
Well-
and only having 3 turnovers?
That
And Iowa State's another team to watch out for the tournament. They are just a phenomenal team, playing good team basketball. I mean, when you only have 3 turnovers in an entire game, that's a stat to note.
and that guy Momcilovic.
Can we say that on the air, Larry?
I just did. I guess we're getting censored. That guy for Iowa State is phenomenal. I've watched them play a few games this year, and he gets a lot of Larry Bird praise to where it's happening so much that no matter who's covering the game, they feel like the need that they have to talk about it. But then you watch it and you see him do the fake layup and the behind the. You're like, well, okay, I guess you're allowed to mention Fred Schlick.
A little Pistol Pete in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and some teams that
unbelievable.
might go deep, I think, this year. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, I mean, they have done such a phenomenal job this year. They might be on the downslope, but, that's what is great about that postseason tournament because it gives them a chance to gel again and get back into the swing of things. They've had a phenomenal season. Gonzaga is going to be running deep again, probably Sweet 16. And then also Vandy. Should they make the tournament,
I put the curse on Vandy on this show because they were the only school at that time that the women's and the men's had not lost, and then Vandy lost the next night, I think.
yeah, and should Vandy make the tournament, which they should.
Oh, they will.
They should have a pretty good run in the tournament as well. Probably Sweet 16, Elite 8.
How about Florida? I mean,
Florida's one of the hottest teams right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're tall. They're very tall.
Well, thanks to the guy that's, 7'11"?
It
or
doesn't,
7'9"?
it doesn't hurt. He doesn't hurt the stats.
He doesn't hurt the average. Yeah, I'd like to see him play one time live. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody 7'9". I would love to put my ex-father-in-law up, standing next to him at 4'10". That would have been wild.
I took a picture. I went to the Tree Rollins basketball camp when I was a kid. So I got a picture of me standing next to Tree, and he wasn't that tall, but
He was 7'2", wasn't he?
yeah, I was gonna say 7'1",
7'1", 7'2", something
but
like that, yeah.
so I looked really small versus him.
Yeah, and there's a guy on Instagram. His name's Ryan Hammer, and he has this thing called the Trapezoid of Excellence. And if you watch this Trapezoid of Excellence, he takes the Ken Palm standings, the net rankings, and what is the other one? It is-
Sagarin?
And the
No, Sagarin's football, isn't it?
Sagarin's football. It is the SOS, the
Strength of schedule.
strength of schedule. And so basically, he takes those 3 statistics and puts all these teams within the trapezoid excellence. And the median line is the team efficiency. And so that's really one of the best indicators of who your big dogs are and not. And so if you're not inside the trapezoid excellence, there's not really going to be too much of a run for those teams that are out there that are tournament bound. So it's really interesting to look at in those 3 categories that he created.
Oh, yeah.
I should say they created, but that he uses for that trapezoid of excellence. It's just absolutely incredible to watch. And it's like, you look at it, and I used that last year as I came in and won the 3 Guys Who Love Sports Bracket Mania.
Oh, did you win that last year?
I did win that last year.
I think he knows that neither one of us remember, and he's just throwing it up there. But man, he was pontificating for a long time just to let us know that
That's
he's
a long way
he's
to
the
go
hammer.
just to get
he's
that.
the hammer. But
That's funny.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to certain stats, you look at somebody like Michigan State. What does Michigan State do well? They only do one thing well every year: they rebound.
Yep.
and you know
Izzo's a good coach.
they do it at such a high level that man they can win any game. And so
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. And you know, that was one of the points I wanted to bring up. This year is probably more wide open than any year there's ever been. I mean, it's funny, and I'd say this every year. I've never won the bracket, but one year, 1985, when Kansas won the national championship. And I met somebody this weekend that's a Rock Chalk Jayhawk fan. And I said, yeah, I always pick them when they're at the top, but I don't think I could pick Kansas this year.
Kansas.
We haven't even mentioned UConn.
Yeah, and
Good
UConn,
basketball team.
They have found their groove. They're back on top of the Big East again. They're running shop over there. And, you know, the teams that are supposed to be able to compete with them, like St. John's, have not been able to compete.
Yeah.
So, UConn's definitely a threat.
Kansas is a threat. Kansas has a great player.
The freshman kid. Yeah.
And then he was out for like 12 games, but you know, it's like, well, when he wasn't there, we did this. But when he is there, you know, so we'll see. I'd say right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's probably
5, 6,
10 teams that could
7.
win this thing.
Yeah. I would actually say the my five that I keep it to is Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Iowa State, and UConn. Those are the 5 that I would limit my.
But you only have a Final Four. You don't have a Final 5.
I know. So it's going to be interesting to see how everybody gets placed in the brackets.
Yeah, I think if I had to give my Final Four now, I think I would have considered Texas Tech until I heard about Toppin being gone, because that's not going to help them at all.
No.
North Carolina, they lost. Was it Caleb Wilson or Caleb Williams? I saw that they were trying to let him practice with a cast on his offhand, on his non-shooting hand.
Correct.
But,
I was watching that NC State game last night.
yeah, but you can't do that. I mean, you can't be effective. You
Not
can't grab
super
the ball.
effective. But,
Yeah, you can't grab the ball and do that stuff with a cast on your either hand. Yeah.
But, you know, we talked about it the other week. Right now in mock drafts, they say the top 14 picks are all freshmen. So this is a historic freshman class. Somebody's going to another school, and I'm not saying that you should watch out for them, but they'll slap some people around. Illinois. And I've always thrown Illinois under a bus. You know,
For every
Illinois, yeah, for every sport. But I've watched them a couple times, and they can shoot their way out of a gym, so it could be fun.
Yeah, Illinois might actually end up winning the Big Ten. We'll see what happens there. You know, your top 3 Big Ten teams just playing as a program is Michigan, Michigan State, and Illinois.
Yep.
And that's where you're at.
And you would hope UCLA, but that's not happening.
Oh, no. UCLA.
No, UCLA, they got it handed to them last night, big
Yeah,
time.
they did. Yeah. And I remember the days where nobody handed anything to UCLA because they beat everybody. Late 70s, early 70s.
Speaking of UCLA, I explained to my boys the other night that about NIL, how that all transpired, and told them as a UCLA player, Eddie O'Banion, from the 95.
The O'Bannon brothers.
From the 95, 96
Yes.
Tournament team, or national championship team. Explained to
Mr.
him-
Dollar.
Yep.
Dollar and the O'Bannon boys.
Explained to him how NIL transpired because of NCAA basketball. So it was good conversation.
If you hate everything that you see, blame it on them.
yes,
And let's talk a little bit about our Kennesaw State Owls. I've been to one guys game and one girls game in the last week. At least fun to watch. I mean, they are fun to watch. They may not win every game, but the girls game particularly gets. Oh God, I can't even remember who they were playing, but they were Liberty. They played Liberty. They were up 10. They were down. They were down like 3 minutes left in the game by like 6, and they came back and won. Great basketball game. A lot of energy in ViStar Arena, whatever you want to call it. I enjoyed my time. And the guys, I lost $5 to Kevin, my son, because we have a $5 bet on any MTSU versus KSU game, and we were up 10, 40, 30, and I kept sending him pictures of the scoreboard because he was in Florida at the time.
How about America? I think America just did it.
Yeah,
boys.
we just won in overtime in hockey.
Yes.
This game,
Yes.
I thought there was.
just beat Sweden.
I thought there was 5-0. Didn't they beat Sweden?
No,
5-0?
that's the women. The women are the ones that are
That haven't given up anything,
Yeah, the women are dominant.
which our women are always dominant. But yes, that's a great
So
W
the
right
Team
there.
USA is 6-0 and 31-1 is not the men's. I thought it was the men's.
No, that's the women's.
Well, I thought I saw this score earlier and it was 3-0. So I don't know. I guess I'm seeing
This
something different.
game started at 3 o'clock today. 3:10.
So it's
Just a fresh final.
This was
There we
the
go.
quarterfinal.
this is live then. So that'll put us to the semis.
Yeah, this
That will.
puts us in the semis.
Good. I'll probably watch the last couple of hockey games.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
you know, it's very difficult in basketball and hockey, and I'll just use those two as an example. If your entire team are all professionals and they don't always play together, then right now this is kind of when you go up against Spain in basketball. Outside of two of those guys who are in the NBA, the rest of them all play together all the time. So it's not easy for the U.S. to just show up and make it happen.
Yep. All right. So back to basketball. Do we want to name four? An early Final Four?
Give me two. Let's just do two. What's the championship game?
Boy, I don't know. I've seen Duke play several times now. I've seen them play. I saw them lose to North Carolina, and I saw them beat Clemson. Clemson's supposed to be the number 2 team in
The ACC.
in the ACC, and
They got
it was very
drubbed.
close at halftime. But I mean, Duke went up by as much as 22. I think in the second half they won by 13, but it was never that close in the second half. The Boozer boys took it to Sharp. If I have to give two right now, one of them is Duke. Duke and UConn. Can I go with Duke and UConn right now?
You want to go with two of the perennial favorites?
Yeah.
Both in the top 5 currently?
Yeah.
Yes, I think those are
Just
wonderful
because,
choices.
Just because it's
That's
so
safe.
wide open this year, why
That's
not
safe pick.
take some people with the experience of being there? And Duke hasn't been number 1 seed in 7 years or 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's
So-
been a little while.
Yeah.
If I have to take two, I'm going to take Houston.
Calvin Sampson's always got them there.
Yeah, Houston, and I'm going to say Duke. I think those are your top 2 teams for longevity's sake this year. Although, I really think whoever's going to win this weekend between Houston and Arizona is really going to be really indicative of who's going to be.
I'm a little concerned about Arizona losing 2 of their last 3 or 4 games, but you got to be playing hot ball the last time. And I hate to say it, Georgia beat a good Kentucky team last night in Kentucky, but Georgia looked like crap. They lost to Oklahoma, who is not a good basketball team, just 2 or 3 days before.
Right, and you're absolutely right. You definitely don't want to be backing into March Madness, but knowing that there's 3 weeks and a conference tournament, there's still 20
Time to
days,
right the
20,
ship.
25 days for you to get your stuff right and see if you're ready
Yeah, you still potentially have 8 to 10 games to
before the
to
tournament
figure it out
starts.
and gel.
So I'm gonna take 2 Big 12 teams because nobody stops them anymore in basketball. I'll take Iowa State and Arizona.
How about that, Rick Limpert?
You know, I watch Iowa State. Houston could be one of these teams as well. That's just it's incredible what the Big 12 has done with the round ball in the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, it really moved up the charts, haven't they?
Yeah. Big 12,
Baylor.
Big 12 by far is the deepest conference in basketball in the nation.
How does that happen overnight? I mean, just going back to when ACC, and you're like top to bottom, the ACC, we invented this sport. We and then how do you just lose one player off of each team a year, and then after a couple of years, that's where you end up with this? I
think NIL bought Texas Tech's team.
Yeah. And looking at the ACC right now, the ACC is so top heavy. You know, the top four versus the rest of
they're going to be 6, maybe 7 in the tournament.
Those top 4, 5, 6.
Correct. The top
versus the other 2/3 of the conference, it's night and day.
Will Tech ever have a good team again?
No.
It's possible, but they have to have the right leadership in
They don't
place.
have the right coach. I thought they did. They did not. Damon Stoudemire has come in there and done nothing recruiting-wise.
He's been extreme disappointment considering how good of a player he was. And normally, the position that translates best from the floor to the bench is point guard.
Point guard, field general.
And you expect a team to have somebody that has had as many laurels as Damon Stoudemire,
Arizona boy,
to come in and then just do what he's doing now.
He should be able to recruit Atlanta because he spent so much time here.
But nobody recruits Atlanta. Even Bobby Cremins couldn't recruit Atlanta. I just don't understand basketball in Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, I have a pretty good idea on it, but
let me have it.
Well, the fact is that, like, as you look across the country at different states, Georgia has some of the best athletes in the country, but some of the worst basketball players because the fundamentals here in Georgia are not as deep through programs across the state as they are in other states. I mean, part of the reason why Indiana has always been so good at basketball is because Indiana youth basketball is so good. And you don't have that here in Georgia. I mean, honestly, what happens is that you roll the ball out in the court and you let the kids play starting at full court basketball at age 6. And that's not how you develop great basketball players.
And there's no argument against what you're saying. You're absolutely correct. But in a year like this year where you've got 14 best players are all freshmen, and, Georgia had a good team 2 years ago or 3 years ago when they had Anthony Edwards, who decided to not go elsewhere for his 1 year. You look at these, how do we not get one guy occasionally?
Yeah.
Just give me a bone.
Even the 2 kids from McKeever that went to where? Rutgers, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, so let's get our last commercial out of the way, and then we'll move on to some baseball.
Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Access has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, the most memorable workouting ever, or just wanting to take something else off your bucket list, American Access has their 3.5 Atlanta locations waiting for you in Marietta, Tucker, downtown at the Works, and the uber cool new Mobile X experience. They can be set up wherever you need. Keep an eye out for them at upcoming events and festivals. Look them up online or give them a call at 678-763-3635. That's right, Chuck. 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
And we thank you, Dan Fisher, and we congratulate you on opening your 5th location in Colorado last week. So
I got to write a new commercial.
I know it. Go for it, Dan. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Again, thanks for being a part of this for so long and supporting the Owls and supporting 3 Guys Who Love Sports. So pitchers and catchers reported last week. I think everybody is in camp now. Braves are beat up again, and we hadn't even started the season. I heard something today about Matt Olson, that he plays every day, and one of the pundits on the radio said, well, maybe they should give him some time off. I said, dude, 162 games. How many days do the typical American work? 248 days a year with 4 weeks of vacation.
Well, I'm okay if you want to suggest he needs time off because he's got 11 home runs at the end of the year. That's not the case. So we want him out there 162 times.
Absolutely. But they play 2 or 3 series and then they get a day off. It's not like they're playing every day. They're playing baseball. It's not like they're slinging mud and digging ditches.
Well, I always look at it April, May, June, July, August, September. That's 6 months. If you say there's 30 in each one, that's 180 days. So roughly 162 games. Yeah, there's not a ton. There's 18 days. That's three per month or something like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these guys, they're not cross country Nordic skiing.
Yeah.
Well, those guys going up the hills on the skis. That's not what Matt Olson's doing at first base. So he seems okay with it. I think we should let him play.
And the pundit's partner said, maybe he doesn't want off. I said, that's the way it ought to be. Even the basketball, we get back to basketball, with all these TV timeouts and all, what do you play, 4-minute stretches? And you can't sit down for 2 minutes, play another 4 minutes?
No,
I don't get
no
it.
doubt about it.
And first base, honestly, is one of the most durable positions, considering just how much that you're actually throwing from that position. From a joint standpoint, it's a great position to play. How many people have had to have Tommy John surgery that have played first base? I would say 0.
Outside of Harper, 0.
Yeah, and looking at Matt Olson, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal first baseman, and he's in a durable position, and you're only going to be better if you're out there more often.
Yeah.
So
Schwellenbach's gone for a while, and then yesterday they said another pitcher had loose impediments in his elbow. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the newer guys.
The problem with Schwellenbach is that and I'm not saying one way is the right way versus it's Schwellenbach's body, all that other good stuff. But if you have an injury that happens in July and then you want to hold off, I'd rather not have surgery. Well, that's great. But now here we are going into spring training, and now you're not going to be around for at least 60 days, which tells me there's a decent chance come July or August, you're actually going to have the surgery that you should have had last year.
Yeah.
That's where the biggest problem is with half of the pitchers nowadays.
Yeah. I think my biggest gripe with baseball right now is, do you think we'll ever have a salary cap in baseball?
We won't have a sport, I don't think, for much longer.
If we don't? Yeah.
Because honestly, if you look at the offseason additions this year, the big winners this year were the Dodgers. The rich get richer again. And your favorites to win this year, the teams that made the best additions were the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the Cubs, and the Giants. You're looking there at your top teams this year. And then the Orioles also went ahead and spent some money, brought in Pete Alonso, Taylor Ward, Ryan Hensley, and Shane Baz to round out a rotation and to actually have a team that can compete out there in the AL East. And so that's always one of the most difficult divisions in baseball to win, just because there's always so much money in New York and Boston to be spent. So it's interesting to see Baltimore finally put some money in and try to put a winner out in the field.
So there's a player strike threat out there now.
There is.
Yeah. The last time they struck was
That-
91. Is that right?
No, that was 94.
94.
And I don't believe that strike is this year, though.
I think it's next year.
Correct. Women's basketball might not happen this year. I think baseball's a year or two from that. But yeah, it's there's a reality to it all.
And I know the players are just out there for all they want. But, I mean, some of the players, like in the minor markets, they got to say, yeah, let's cap this thing off. It'll bring a little bit of parity back to the league, right?
Well, the guy at the end of the table here is a stinking Pirate fan, and he would love to have a good team occasionally. But under the current setup, it's just impossible. It's impossible. Yeah. So, you're watching this, once-in-a-lifetime pitcher. He's got 2 years under his belt, never have seen 2 years like this. The only person, Doc Gooden's first 2 years, and they aren't up to par with what Skeens has been doing. He's not coming back. Something's got to change. Something's got to change.
Yeah, and what's interesting to see is that the head of the MLBPA, can't remember his name, has now just stepped down because of his scandals going on.
Today. He
was having an affair with his sister-in-law, or so it's either his brother's wife or his wife's sister. And so you have that going on. And then in addition, he was going to the table to try to negotiate this contract, and now they're going to have somebody else go in and go fill in that spot. And so that person, just so that the players union does not get upset, is going to have to go and like fall on the sword to try to either have the lockout happen or succumb to what is best for baseball and have a salary cap put in.
Which, you know, I don't understand the dynamics of what it would be, but this would be one of those things where we're implementing the salary cap. 3 years from now, the highest team payroll will be $300 million, because you can't just tell the Dodgers they have to get rid of everybody. So it'll be a staggered approach to where you hope 7 years after the discovery happens that everybody's kind of on their own.
Maybe on a more
Something-
even playing field.
Something like that. But it is going to have to be a tiered approach. You know, you can't just take every player from the Yankees, Red Sox, Phillies, and Dodgers and go, okay, sprinkle them around. Let's play.
Well, what you could do is, they've been talking about the expansion with the 31st and 32nd team, and looking at that, it's like, hey, maybe you kind of hit both at the same time, where you have the two expansion teams come in, and you go ahead and implement the salary cap, where those two teams can come in and poach some of those players.
Possibly.
And restructure those contracts. And that's what they're going to have to do long term, is just restructure the deals. And that's really what it comes down to, because honestly, the market right now for what players are getting is just insanity. I mean, for Shohei Ohtani to be the first player ever to have a guaranteed contract for
$700.
Yeah, for $700 and incentives to make over $1 billion.
I know back when Glavine was leading the strike for the punch, he was making like $2,000 every time he threw the baseball. Every pitch he threw was worth about $2,000. That's too much. And that was in 91 or 94, as Robert said.
I remember when
94.
Mike Trout signed his deal, we'll say 8-9 years ago, he was getting paid about $19,000 per at-bat.
Yeah.
For a 7-year period. How many at-bats you have? 600 a year. It's like, but
Do the math.
yeah, the numbers are crazy, but the problem is that we are capitalism at its highest level. And so you're going to take one sport and you're going to go, okay, this should have been done years and years ago by Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, but since it wasn't done, we're going to have to do it now. And it's going to be interesting. Clearly the players don't want it.
Show me the money. Yeah, that's what the players want. But do you think baseball is the most poorly organized professional sport out there?
Yes, by far.
Because of the salary cap, it just
lack thereof. Yeah.
Just because of that, there is nothing, it's like herding cats or something like that, to where, it's a train wreck. And, it's going to have to get better.
You basically have 1/3 of the league able to compete with a salary, and then 2/3 of the league have to be creative in how they can field a team that's not going to get decimated and fall so far behind.
It's
500.
not like the Cleveland Indians major league team.
Yeah.
But it's really not even like a third. It's more like 20%. There's 5 teams out there. And then when you look at it, and I don't believe that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. And I also am pretty sure that baseball is not America's sport anymore. But when you look at it, it's the only sport that has 30 teams. So if it wasn't for Bud Selig screwing stuff up in interleague play, 2 teams wouldn't be able to play on a regular basis. So it makes sense that they are to get 2 teams, but with the disparity already as big as it is, I don't know. The Charlotte. Actually, I hope I hope they're the Nashville Rockies, but I don't know where. I don't know where
You think
everything.
Denver will move?
They can't win there. You're not able to attract pitching, and now hitters don't even go there. So, one of the places that they say they'll take them is Salt Lake. Salt Lake is more of the same. You're never going to get a pitcher to go, I'll go there and kill my career,
Well, baseball is upon us. It's hard to believe, isn't it? We hadn't talked about it for months and months, and all of a sudden, it's upon us. It's I think between it and college basketball, we're we're looking at a lot of spring sports that are now dominating.
Well, and and as we all know, football is king. Football knows to go. We're going to drop the schedule at this point. We're going to do the draft at this point.
Do the combine.
Free agency at this point. They do it all.
Yeah, I mean, Major League Baseball, you talk about the organizational standpoint, it is the least organized sport there is.
Easy.
Because from a marketing perspective, the NFL is your beacon on a hill. The NFL is exactly what every league should do across the board. Have a certain point that you have your schedule release. You have a certain point that you have your free agency. You have your certain points where you have these little things to give people something to talk about your sport. Major League Baseball, we were 4 months out or 3 months out, and we still didn't have a schedule released.
Correct.
And this year was particularly long, or like even later in the year that they released the schedule because they were working around the World Cup scheduling and other scheduling. And so, like, you're looking at what they were dealing with, but still, like, you should have a set date that, hey, this is when we're going to put it out. And I would probably put it out, like, right around, like, Thanksgiving. Give us something to talk about.
You want to sell tickets for Christmas? You want to
Nobody's going to talk about baseball and Thanksgiving. That's football time, man. But yeah, to your point, I get
Somebody
it.
would if you did
It's got
it
to be
right.
scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
As we're planning out our trip this year for our annual baseball trip, trying to find when the schedule was going to get released was next to impossible because you know what? I knew what my kids' schedules were going to be for
Right, you knew Cobb County and Marietta school systems years ahead of time.
And so when was I going to be able to schedule it? So that's what we had to deal with this year and could not schedule until after
Baseball made the announcement.
after Christmas, pretty much. It was absolutely insane. But yeah, I digress.
All right. Well, Ian, we appreciate you coming back on, boy. Sorry it took so long. Robert, great show.
Go Gem City.
Go Gym City. You guys, don't forget, know your numbers, cover your ass, get your prostate checked. We'll see you next week right here on Three Guys Who Love Sports.
Yeah, the only thing I did not mention that I meant to is like just with the Pirates. I'm so stoked with what they've done. Actually spending some money this year around Big Bear, Ryan O'Hearn, got Brandon Lau and Jake Magnum from the Rays. It's like, oh, we actually have a chance to do something here. Like it's actually impressive.
Yeah, the biggest problem with teams like Pittsburgh is you put forth a little bit of effort in the post or in the off season. You line those things up, and if everything lines up well, who knows? Maybe you even add somebody at the trade deadline. But because you're behind on everything already, the second you don't succeed in April, May, and June, you're letting Big Bear go. You're letting It's like, well, we got a good deal on him. We should probably keep him for the year, but
Yeah, and
Never happens.
That's what I absolutely love or hate watching is, we're not competitive, so let's get rid of this guy. Like, it was absolutely insanity to me to see Isaiah Connor Falefa playing for us, and it's like, we DFA'd him like in September, so you go sign with another team that was competitive for the playoffs. And so he goes and signs with Toronto. But I will say, they are projected to score, to average at least one more run per game. And,
that's really good in baseball.
and if they can score one more run per game this coming year, like if they would have just had the average for run count per game, they would have won 15 to 19 more games last year instead of winning 74.
One run in baseball is massive.